The lights in the Galactic Council space station turned red without warning. Alarms blared through every corridor, making several junior officers jump from their seats. At the heart of the command center, Station Commander Du-Wan looked up from his reports with a frown. "Report," he ordered, his voice cutting through the chaos. Sensor Officer Jia-Yun's fingers flew across her control panel. Her face turned pale as she read the incoming data. "Commander, we have an unknown vessel approaching from Sector 7. It's huge." Do-Wan walked to her station, his steps measured and calm despite the situation. The main screen showed a blinking dot moving steadily toward their position. Around him, the command crew worked at their stations, but he could sense their fear. "Show me the scan results," he said. The screen filled with numbers and readings. Du-Wan's eyes widened as he read them. The approaching ship was unlike anything in their database. Its hull was made of materials they couldn't identify. Energy readings were off the charts. "Sir," Jia-Yun's voice shook slightly. "The ship's weapon systems, they're beyond anything we've ever seen. One of those weapons could destroy the entire station." The command center fell silent. The station housed over 10,000 beings from 30 different species. It was supposed to be safe here, deep in Galactic Council space. "Try to contact them," Du-Wan ordered. He walked back to his command chair, keeping his movements slow and steady. His crew needed to see him calm. "No response to our standard greetings, sir," Communications Officer Sungmin reported. "I'm trying all known frequencies." The unknown ship kept coming closer. Its path was direct. No attempt to hide or evade detection. Whatever they weren't afraid of being seen. "Sir," Jia-Yun called out again. "I'm getting more detailed scans. The ship, it's covered in battle damage. Old scars, but deep ones. And there are marks that match weapons we've never seen before." Do-Wan leaned forward in his chair. A battle-scarred ship meant survivors. Survivors meant warriors. "Show me." The main screen filled with images of the approaching vessel. Its dark hull was marked with deep gashes and patches of repairs. Some sections looked like they had been melted and reformed. The ship's design was aggressive, all sharp angles and weapon ports. "The computer just matched one marking, sir," Jia-Yun said. Her voice was barely a whisper. It's from Earth." The command center erupted in whispers. Earth. Everyone had heard stories about Earth, but few believed them. "A death world," they said. "A planet so dangerous that its inhabitants had evolved to survive constant warfare. A species that had mastered space travel not for exploration, but because they had exhausted all the resources they could reach from their world's surface." "Activate all defensive systems," Du-Wan ordered. "But do not, I repeat, do not target the vessel. Sungmin, keep trying to make contact." The station's shields hummed to life. Defense turrets emerged from hidden ports, but remained powered down as ordered. Du-Wan knew that if the stories about humans were true, these defenses wouldn't help much anyway. "Sir, new data coming in," Jia-Yun reported. "The ship's drive system. It's impossible. They're using their engine heat for stealth. The hotter they run, the harder they are to detect. That goes against everything we know about physics." Do-Wan nodded slowly. "Of course humans would find a way to turn a law of physics into a weapon. Keep monitoring. I want to know everything about that ship." A new alarm sounded. Jia-Yun's hands flew across her controls again. "Sir, they're launching something. Small objects, dozens of them." The command center held its breath. Du-Wan gripped the arms of his chair, but kept his voice steady. "Analysis." They're not weapons," Jia-Yun said, surprise clear in her voice. "They look like probes. Yes, sensor probes. Very advanced ones. They're scanning us, sir. Every detail of the station." Do-Wan allowed himself a small smile. So the humans were cautious too. They wanted to know what they were dealing with before making their move. That was good. It meant they could think, plan, and possibly be reasoned with. "Sir," Sungmin called out. We're receiving a transmission. Text only. In perfect galactic standard. The message appeared on the main screen. Short, simple, and terrifying in its directness. Galactic Council Station Delta 17. This is the Earth warship Thunderchild. We come with a warning. You are all in danger. Prepare to receive our ambassador. Do-1 sat back in his chair. First contact with humans. This would either be the start of a new era of cooperation or the beginning of the end. Well, he said to his crew, let's not keep them waiting. Navigation Officer Tai, he couldn't take her eyes off the movement patterns of the human ship. In 15 years of tracking vessels through space, she had never seen anything like it. Commander Do-1, she called out, her voice tight with concern. The human ship, it's not moving like a ship should. The command center crew turned to look at her display. The Thunderchild's course showed as a series of impossible turns and speed changes. The ship would accelerate, then stop almost instantly, breaking every rule of space movement they knew. Explain, Do-1 ordered, walking to her station. Tahi pointed to her screen. Look here, sir. When our ships turn in space, they need to make wide curves. We can't just stop or change direction. But this human ship, she paused, shaking her head. It moves like there's no mass to it at all. Security Chief Hejun stepped closer, his hand resting on his weapon. Could their navigation data be wrong? Maybe our sensors are malfunctioning. No, Tahi said firmly. I checked 3 times. They have some kind of drive system that ignores inertia. It's like they found a way to turn off physics when it doesn't suit them. The main screen showed the Thunderchild making another impossible maneuver. The massive warship spun in place, rotating faster than a small fighter, then stopped dead. No drift, no slowdown, just instant stillness. Their crew should be dead, one junior officer whispered. No living thing could survive those forces. Hejun's face darkened. Unless they're not like any living thing we know. A new alert sounded from Jai-Yun's sensor station. Sir, I'm getting detailed visuals of the ship now. Putting it on main display. The screen filled with an image that made several crew members step back. The human warship was beautiful in a deadly way. Its hull was dark gray, almost black, with red stripes along its sides. The shape reminded Do-1 of ancient sea predators, sleek, powerful, built for hunting. Look at the size of those weapon ports, Hejun said, pointing. Each one could fit our largest defensive cannon inside it. And they have dozens. Tahi's console beeped again. Sir, I'm detecting movement inside their launch bays. Something big is getting ready to launch. Defensive positions, Hejun ordered. The security teams around the command center raised their weapons, though everyone knew they would be useless against a ship like that. The launch bay doors on the Thunderchild opened smoothly. The station crew watched, holding their breath. A small vessel emerged, an elegant shuttle, its design just as impressive as its mothership. Sir, some men called from communications. Another message from the humans. Ambassador transport launching. Request permission to dock. We come in peace, but are prepared for war. Do-1 almost smiled at the blunt message. At least the humans were honest about their capabilities. Jai-Yun, scan that shuttle, he ordered. The sensor officer worked quickly. Sir, the shuttle's hull is made of the same unknown materials as the main ship. It has enough weapons to fight a small war, but they're all powered down. And I'm detecting 6 life forms aboard. All human. 6 humans, Hejun muttered. 6 humans in a shuttle that could probably destroy half our station. Do-1 straightened his uniform. Typical diplomatic protocol would be to send a welcoming party of equal size. Sir, Hejun protested, we can't match their firepower. Each human probably has weapons we've never seen before. Then we'll have to rely on something stronger than weapons, Do-1 said. We'll use respect. Grant them docking permission at the main diplomatic bay. Hejun, select 5 of your best officers. Full dress uniforms. We're going to show these humans that we can be just as professional as they are. As the crew rushed to prepare for the humans' arrival, Tahi called out one last time. Sir, the shuttle. It's going to reach us in less than 2 minutes. That's 3 times faster than our best vessels could make the same journey. Do-Won nodded. Everything about these humans was a display of power. Their ship, their weapons, even their diplomatic shuttle. But they hadn't fired a shot. They hadn't made threats. They had come with a warning of danger, moving with overwhelming force but offering peace. Perhaps, he said quietly, that's the most important thing we need to understand about humans. They don't need to prove their power. They know exactly what they can do. And they choose when not to do it. The shuttle grew larger on their screens, its approach perfect, its speed terrifying. First contact with humanity was about to begin, and no one in the station knew if they were ready for it. Ambassador Kita stood straight as the human shuttle docked. His long years of diplomatic training had taught him how to handle many species, but humans were different. No one had prepared him for this. The docking bay was silent except for the soft hum of machinery. 6 station officers, including Commander Do-Won and Security Chief Jun, waited in their best uniforms. The air felt heavy with tension. Remember, Kita said quietly, let me do the talking. Diplomatic protocol is delicate. The shuttle door opened with a soft hiss, cutting him off. Everyone stiffened as the humans emerged. They were tall, much taller than expected. Their dark blue uniforms seemed to absorb light, and each human moved with a fluid grace that reminded Kita of hunting animals. The one in front, clearly their leader, had silver stripes on her shoulders. Ambassador Kita, the human leader said in perfect galactic standard, I am Captain Park of the Earth warship Thunderchild. Thank you for receiving us. Kita bowed slightly, following standard protocol. Captain Park, welcome to Station Delta 17. We are honored. Please, Captain Park interrupted, her voice firm but polite. We don't have time for lengthy greetings. The danger I mentioned is approaching faster than we expected. Jun stepped forward. What danger? Our sensors show nothing unusual in the system. One of the humans, a tall male with serious eyes, touched something on his wrist. A hologram appeared in the air between them, showing a map of nearby space. Red dots blinked at the edges. Your sensors can't detect them yet, the human said. They're using stealth technology beyond your current capabilities. We estimate 3 hours until they arrive. Kaita felt his diplomatic training slipping away. This wasn't how first contact was supposed to go. There should be formal introductions, careful cultural exchange, slow building of trust. Captain, he said, trying to regain control of the situation. While we appreciate your warning, we can't simply. Ambassador, Captain Park cut in again. I understand your need for proper protocol. But what's coming doesn't care about protocol. They don't negotiate. They don't show mercy. And they've already destroyed 3 outposts in this sector. The humans' directness was shocking. In the Galactic Council, important matters were discussed carefully, with many polite words and careful suggestions. These humans spoke truth like a weapon. Do-Won stepped forward. Perhaps we should continue this discussion in the conference room. More comfortable, more private. Captain Park nodded. Agreed. Lieutenant, show them the scan data. Another human activated a different hologram. This one showed scenes of destruction. Space stations torn apart, planets with massive impact craters, debris fields where fleets had died. This is what's left of Outpost 227. Captain Park said quietly. Population was 12,000. No survivors. Keita felt sick. He had friends on Outpost 227. Had visited there just 2 months ago. Why didn't we hear about this? Their communication systems were destroyed first, one of the humans explained. By the time anyone noticed something was wrong, it was too late. We only found out because we were tracking them. The group moved toward the conference room. Station crew members they passed stopped and stared at the humans. Some looked afraid. Others looked curious. The humans noticed everything, their eyes constantly moving, analyzing. In the conference room, Captain Park placed a small device on the table. It projected a larger version of the space map. "We've been hunting these raiders for 3 months," she said. "They hit hard, fast, and vanish. But we've learned their patterns, and all signs show they're coming here next." Keita tried one more time to follow proper diplomatic procedure. "Captain, if there's truly a threat, we should contact the Galactic Council. Get proper authorization for." "Ambassador," Captain Park said, and now there was steel in her voice. "In 3 hours, this station will be attacked by an enemy you can't detect, using weapons you can't stop. We're here because Earth protects its allies, even potential ones. You can either work with us now, or we can wait and rescue survivors later. Your choice." The room fell silent. Keita looked at Du-1, saw the commander thinking hard. These humans had appeared without warning, demonstrated overwhelming power, and were now offering to fight for them. It went against every diplomatic rule he knew. But the images of Outpost 227's destruction were fresh in his mind. "Very well," Du-1 said before Keita could speak. "Tell us what you need." Captain Park smiled for the first time. It was a predator's smile, but somehow comforting. "Commander, let's teach these raiders why attacking the human-protected station is a very, very bad idea." While Captain Park and Commander Du-1 discussed defense plans, Archive Specialist Yuna sat in her quiet office deep within the station. Her fingers moved quickly across her computer screen as she searched through historical records. "Computer, show me everything we have about Earth," she said softly. The screen filled with data. Most of it was marked as unconfirmed or possibly fictional. Yuna started reading, and her eyes grew wider with each new piece of information. Her door chimed. "Come in," she called, not looking away from her screen. One of the human officers entered, a younger female with curious eyes. "Archive Specialist. Captain Park asked me to help you understand our history. I'm Lieutenant Kim." Yuna turned to face her visitor. "Lieutenant, these records, are they true? About your planet?" Lieutenant Kim looked at the screen and nodded. "Earth? Yes. Though your records are missing a lot. May I?" Yuna moved aside, letting the human access her computer. Lieutenant Kim's fingers moved incredibly fast, adding new data to the station's archives. "Earth is what you would call a death world," Lieutenant Kim explained. "High gravity, extreme weather, lots of natural disasters. And the wildlife." She smiled. "Well, let's just say we evolved to be tough." Images appeared on the screen. Earth animals that looked like monsters. Creatures with huge teeth, powerful muscles, deadly claws. And among them, early humans, surviving, hunting, growing stronger. But this, Yuna pointed to another record. Your wars. Your weapons. How did you survive them? "We adapted," Lieutenant Kim said simply. "Every new weapon led to better defenses. Every battle taught us new strategies. We learned to survive anything because we had to." More images filled the screen. Human battles through history. Yuna watched in amazement as their weapons evolved from simple sticks to powerful space cannons. "Here's something interesting," Lieutenant Kim said, pulling up a new file. "The day we discovered we weren't alone in space. Want to know what Earth's leaders did first?" Yuna nodded, curious. "They looked at every alien species we found and asked one question. Could they survive on Earth? The answer was always no." Lieutenant Kim's voice was gentle but proud. "That's when we realized how strong we really were." A message popped up on Yuna's screen, a request for historical data from the station's medical bay. Dr. Myray was studying human biology. "Your bodies," Yuna said, reading the medical data. "You can heal from injuries that would kill most species." Lieutenant Kim rolled up her sleeve, showing a long scar. "Broke my arm in 3 places during training. Healed in weeks. We have backup organs, super efficient healing, and we can eat foods that would poison most species. Yuna's hands shook slightly as she typed notes. And your minds. These records say humans can stay awake for days, keep fighting with serious injuries, survive extreme stress. All true, Lieutenant Kim said. We call it human endurance. It's not just physical, it's mental too. We don't give up. Ever. New alerts flashed on the screen. All over the station, different departments were requesting information about humans. Security wanted to know about their combat abilities. Engineering was studying their technology. Even the station's children were asking their teachers about the strange new visitors. Lieutenant, Yuna said carefully, if humans are this powerful, why didn't you conquer everyone you met? These records show you could have. Lieutenant Kim's face turned serious. Because the same things that made us strong also taught us wisdom. We learned that the hardest battles aren't won with weapons. They're won with allies. She pointed to the approaching enemy on the star map. That's why we're here. Not to conquer, but to protect. Yuna looked at her screen again, understanding growing in her mind. Humans weren't just powerful. They were complex. They had the strength to destroy worlds but chose to defend them instead. They had survived hell and come out of it wanting to help others survive too. One more question, Yuna said. These raiders who are coming, are they as strong as humans? Lieutenant Kim smiled that predator's smile that all humans seem to have. No. And they're about to learn why attacking the human-protected station is the last mistake they'll ever make. Outside Yuna's office, the station hummed with activity as everyone prepared for battle. But now, thanks to her research, they weren't just afraid of the humans anymore. They were glad the humans were on their side. The station's defense grid was old but well-maintained. Security Chief Hejun had always been proud of it. Now, watching a human engineer examine the main control panel, he felt like a child showing off a toy weapon. Your power distribution is inefficient, the human engineer said. His name tag read Tech Specialist Lee. You're losing 30% of your energy before it even reaches the weapons. Hejun frowned. The system has worked fine for 20 years. Fine isn't good enough anymore, Lee replied. He touched the panel, and screens of data appeared in the air. The raiders will be here in 2 hours. We need these defenses at full power. A loud alarm suddenly blared through the station. Red lights flashed. Hejun rushed to check the security feeds. Report, he shouted into his communicator. Sir, a panicked voice responded. Defense Turret 6 just activated on its own. It's turning toward the human ship. Hejun's blood went cold. He looked at Lee, expecting anger or accusations. Instead, the human was smiling. Watch, Lee said calmly. On the main screen, they saw the defense turret power up. Before it could fire, something incredible happened. The human warship moved faster than anything that size should be able to move. In less than a second, it shifted position, weapons already responding. A small pulse of energy shot from the Thunderchild. The defense turret shut down instantly, its systems completely disabled but undamaged. How? Hejun started. Targeted EMP burst, Lee explained. Disabled your turret without damaging it. We could have destroyed it, but why waste good equipment? The station's emergency teams were already rushing to the turret. Hejun watched them on the screens, amazed at how quickly and precisely the humans had responded. Your ship's reaction time, he said. That's impossible. Lee shook his head. Not impossible. Just advanced. Our combat AI saw the turret moving, calculated all possible responses, and executed the best one. Took about half a second. More screens lit up as Captain Park and Commander Do-Won arrived at the security center. The human captain looked completely calm, as if random defense turrets often tried to shoot at her ship. Status report, Do-Won demanded. Malfunction in Turret 6's targeting system, Hejun reported. The humans handled it. Handled it very well, Do-1 added, looking at Captain Park. Your ship's response was impressive and gentle. Captain Park nodded. Breaking things is easy. Fixing relationships is hard. We chose to show restraint. Lee was still working on the defense controls. Captain, I found the problem. Their computer systems aren't properly shielded. The raiders could hack them easily. Can you fix it? Do-1 asked. Already starting, Lee replied. His hands moved across the controls, making changes faster than He-Jun could follow. We'll update your software with basic human cybersecurity. Should keep you safe from most attacks. He-Jun watched in amazement as the human engineer transformed their defense systems. Power readings increased. Response times got faster. Weapons became more accurate. This is beyond our technology level, he said quietly. Yes, Captain Park agreed. But you're our allies now. And humans protect their allies. New alarms started beeping. But these were different. The improved sensors were picking up something at the edge of their range. Multiple contacts. Jae-Yun's voice came through the communicator. The raiders are early. They'll be here in 30 minutes. He-Jun expected panic. Instead, the humans looked eager. Captain Park's smile was fierce. Perfect timing, she said. We just finished upgrading your defenses. Now you get to see how humans fight. She turned to Commander Do-1. Your station, your call. We can handle this alone, or we can fight together. Either way, those raiders aren't leaving this system intact. Do-1 looked at He-Jun, then at the enhanced defense readings. The station was stronger now than it had ever been, thanks to human technology. We fight together, Do-1 said firmly. It's time to show these raiders what happens when they attack a station protected by humans. Captain Park's smile grew wider. Security Chief He-Jun, man your new defense grid. Tech Specialist Lee will guide you. Commander Do-1, please come with me to the command center. Let's give your crew a lesson in human combat tactics. As they rushed to their positions, He-Jun realized something important. The humans hadn't just brought better weapons and technology. They'd brought confidence, hope, and a promise that from now on, this station wasn't alone anymore. The raiders were about to learn that the hard way. Medical Officer Mei had never seen anything like human biology before. She stared at her screen, checking the readings again and again. This can't be right, she said to herself. What can't be right? A voice asked. Mei jumped. She hadn't heard Lieutenant Kim enter the medical bay. You're everything, Mei admitted. Your bones are incredibly dense. Your muscles are somehow both stronger and more flexible than they should be. And your immune system. She shook her head in wonder. Lieutenant Kim sat down next to her. Let me guess. You're wondering why we're built like we're expecting to fight all the time. Yes, even your blood carries more oxygen than any species I've studied. You're designed for combat and survival, but you're also... Mei struggled to find the right words. Kind? Protective? Willing to help others? Lieutenant Kim smiled. That's what everyone finds confusing about humans. They expect us to be violent because we're strong. Mei pointed to her screen. These stress readings from your crew, they're incredibly high. Any other species would be having panic attacks. But your people seem excited. Ah, that's the adrenaline. Lieutenant Kim's eyes lit up. When humans face danger, our bodies release chemicals that make us stronger, faster, more alert. Fear becomes energy. Pain becomes fuel. The medical bay's door opened again. Captain Park entered, followed by Commander Do-1. They were discussing battle plans, but stopped when they saw Mei's confused expression. Doctor? Do-1 asked. Is everything all right? Mei stood up. Sir, I've been studying the human medical data. There's something you need to understand about them. She pressed a button, and a hologram appeared showing human internal systems. Look at this. Everything about their bodies says they should be aggressive, violent predators. but their brain scans show incredibly high activity in areas for empathy, planning, and protection of others. Captain Park nodded. You're wondering why a species built for war cares so much about peace. Exactly, Mireille said. It doesn't make sense. You have the bodies of warriors but the minds of protectors, Lieutenant Kim finished. That's exactly what we are. We evolved to be strong because our world was dangerous. But we evolved to be smart and caring because that's how we survived, by helping each other. Do-One watched the human brain scan with interest. So when you say you want to protect our station, we mean it with every cell in our bodies, Captain Park said firmly. Humans don't just fight well. We fight for things we care about. And we've decided to care about this station and its people. New data flashed across Mireille's screen. Combat readiness reports from the human crew. Their body chemistry was changing, preparing for battle. Amazing, she whispered. Your whole crew is synchronizing. Heart rates, hormone levels, neural patterns. You're not just getting ready to fight. You're becoming a single fighting unit. Lieutenant Kim grinned. That's human pack bonding. We're stronger together. And now, she gestured at Do-One and the station crew. We're adding you to our pack. The station shook slightly as the human warship adjusted its position. The raiders were getting closer. But Mireille wasn't afraid anymore. She understood something new about their human allies. Commander, she said to Do-One, these humans, they're not just powerful. They're powerful because they care. Their bodies are built for war, but their hearts are built for protection. That's what makes them so dangerous to their enemies. Captain Park put a hand on Mireille's shoulder. Her grip was gentle, but Mireille could feel the strength in it. Doctor, you understand us better than most. We're not here because we want to fight. We're here because we refuse to let anyone hurt those we've chosen to protect. The station's battle alarms began to sound. Captain Park and Lieutenant Kim straightened, their bodies instantly ready for action. But Mireille noticed something else. They had positioned themselves between the door and the station crew, a protective gesture that seemed completely natural to them. Time to go, Captain Park said. Doctor, keep your medical bay ready. We'll try to avoid casualties. But she smiled that fierce human smile. Well, let's just say the raiders are about to learn why you don't threaten anything under human protection. As the humans left to prepare for battle, Mireille looked at her commander. Sir, I think we're going to be okay. Do-One nodded, watching the humans go. Yes, Doctor, I think we are. Because now I understand. We haven't just found powerful allies. We found protectors who are powerful because they care. The raiders appeared from nowhere. One moment the space around the station was empty. The next moment 20 ships dropped their stealth fields. They were dark, angular vessels bristling with weapons. Multiple hostile contacts. Jai-Yun called out from her sensor station. They're surrounding us. Commander Do-One stood at the center of the command room. Captain Park beside him. The human captain looked at the tactical display with calm eyes. 19 escort ships, she said, and 1 command vessel. Standard raider formation. She touched her communicator. Thunderchild, battle stations. The human warship moved into position above the station. Its size made the raider ships look small, but there were so many of them. A harsh voice came through the station's communications. Attention Station Delta 17. Surrender now, and we will spare your lives. Resist, and we will destroy you. Before Do-One could respond, Captain Park stepped forward. This is Captain Park of the Earth warship Thunderchild. You are threatening a station under human protection. Leave now, or be destroyed. Silence filled the command room. The raiders had probably never been threatened before. The raider leader laughed. 1 ship. Against 20. Your species must be stupid as well as arrogant. Final warning, Captain Park said calmly. Leave, or see how humans fight. The raiders answered with weapons fire. Energy beams and missiles streaked toward the station and the Thunderchild. "Shields up!" Hajun shouted from the defense control station. The station's new human upgraded shields flared to life, blocking the attacks easily. Then the Thunderchild moved. Do-1 had thought the human ship was impressive before. Now he saw what it could really do. The massive warship moved like a dancer, its weapons firing with perfect accuracy. 3 raider ships exploded in the first 5 seconds. "Station defenses. Target hostiles 7 through 12, Captain Park ordered. Thunderchild will handle the rest." Hajun's hands flew across his controls. The station's weapons, now powered by human technology, fired streams of energy at the raiders. 2 more enemy ships exploded. "They're trying to hack our systems," Tahi called out. "Let them try," Lieutenant Kim said from her station. "Our new firewalls will give them a nasty surprise." On the tactical display, Do-1 watched in amazement. The raiders were highly trained, their attacks coordinated. But the Thunderchild seemed to know what they would do before they did it. Its weapons found weak points no one else could see. Its shields absorbed hits that should have destroyed it. "Sir," Jia-Yun shouted, "the Raider command ship is powering up some kind of super weapon." A massive energy beam shot from the Raider flagship, bigger than anything Do-1 had ever seen. It headed straight for the station. Captain Park didn't even look worried. "Thunderchild, Protocol 7. The human warship moved between the station and the beam. Instead of trying to block it, the ship seemed to catch the energy, its hull glowing bright blue. "What are they doing?" Hajun asked in wonder. "Watching," Captain Park said with a smile. "This is one of my favorite tactics." The Thunderchild's hull pulsed once, and the absorbed energy shot back at the raiders. Their own weapons' power, amplified by human technology, tore through 5 ships at once. The raider commander's voice came through again, but now it shook with fear. "What? What are you?" "We are human," Captain Park answered. "And you attacked something we protect." The remaining raiders tried to flee. The Thunderchild didn't let them. Its weapons picked them off one by one, each shot precise and deadly. The raider command ship was the last to fall, split in half by a single precise strike. When it was over, the space around the station was filled with floating debris. The entire battle had taken less than 10 minutes. The station crew stared at their tactical displays in silence. 20 raider ships, destroyed by 1 human vessel. Their best weapons, turned against them. Their greatest attack, absorbed and reflected. "Status report," Do-1 asked shakily. "Station shields at 95%, Hojun reported. "No damage, no casualties." He looked at Captain Park. How did you make it look so easy?" The human captain smiled. "Practice. Lots of practice. And," she looked around at the station crew, "something worth fighting for. Your station is safe now. Those raiders won't trouble anyone ever again." Do-1 nodded slowly, understanding at last. The humans hadn't just won a battle. They had shown everyone watching why their protection was so valuable, and why making humans your enemy was a very, very bad idea. The station's main conference room was packed. Representatives from every deck had come to see the humans who had saved them. Captain Park stood at the front, showing images from the battle. "As you can see," she said, pointing to a tactical display, "the raiders were using stolen technology from 6 different species. That's why your normal defenses wouldn't have worked." Ambassador Kita raised his hand. "But your ship knew exactly how to fight them." "How?" "Experience," Captain Park answered. "Earth has been hunting these raiders for months. We've learned their tricks." She smiled. "And we've gotten very good at stopping them." Security Chief Hajum stepped forward. "The way your ship absorbed their super weapon, was that human technology?" "Partially," Lieutenant Kim answered from her seat. "We combined ideas from 3 different species, then improved them. Humans are good at taking good ideas and making them better." The tactical display changed, showing the station's new defense systems. Tech specialist Lee stood up to explain. "We've upgraded your shields, weapons, and sensors," he said. "You can now detect stealth ships and defend against most advanced attacks. The raiders won't catch you by surprise again." Commander Du-1 watched his crew's reactions. They had been afraid of the humans at first. Now they looked at them with respect and gratitude. "There's more," Captain Park continued. "We're offering Station Delta 17 a permanent alliance with Earth. You would be under our official protection." The room burst into excited whispers. Even Kita looked impressed. "What would this alliance mean?" Du-1 asked. Captain Park touched a control, and new images appeared. Regular patrols by human ships, defense upgrades, freight opportunities, technology sharing, and most importantly, anyone who attacks you will have to deal with us. A young engineer raised her hand. "But why help us? What do humans get from this?" "Friends," Lieutenant Kim said simply. "Allies. Partners. Humans are strong, yes, but we're stronger when we work with others." The display showed more images. Human ships working with alien vessels, shared technologies, successful joint operations. "Look at these results," tech specialist Lee said. "When we combine human combat skills with your species' different abilities, we achieve amazing things. Together, we're better than we are alone." Hajun studied the defense readouts again. "These upgrades, they're beyond anything we have. Aren't you worried about sharing such advanced technology?" Captain Park's expression grew serious. "There was a time when humans kept our best technology secret. We thought it made us safer. But we learned something important. The strongest shield isn't a weapon or a force field. It's trust between allies." The station shook slightly as the Thunderchild adjusted its position outside. Through the conference room's windows, they could see the human warship standing guard. "We're offering more than protection," Captain Park continued. "We're offering partnership. Earth wants to work with you, learn from you, grow with you. Yes, we're powerful. But we use that power to protect, not to control." Do-1 stood up. "I've seen how humans fight. You could have demanded anything from us after saving the station. Instead, you're asking to be allies. That says more about your species than any battle could." Captain Park nodded. "Commander, when we first arrived, your people were afraid of us. That's normal. Humans can be scary." She smiled. "But we hope you've learned that having humans on your side is better than having us as enemies." The conference room fell quiet as everyone thought about the battle they had witnessed. One human ship had destroyed 20 raiders. Their technology had turned enemies' weapons against them. Their tactics had made impossible victories look easy. And now these same humans were offering friendship. Do-1 looked at his senior staff. Hajun nodded firmly. Kita smiled. Both of them had seen humans in action. Both trusted them now. "Captain Park," Do-1 said, "Station Delta 17 would be honored to accept Earth's alliance offer." The human captain's smile was warm and fierce at the same time. "Commander, the honor is ours. Let's show the galaxy what humans and allies can accomplish together." Outside, the Thunderchild's hull gleamed in the starlight. It was no longer a threatening sight to the station's crew. Now it was a symbol of protection, of partnership, of a future where humanity's strength would help keep peace in the stars. The aliens had learned an important lesson. Humans were terrifying enemies, but incredible allies. And Station Delta 17 had just become one of the safest places in space. 3 months after the battle, Station Delta 17 looked very different. Human ships came and went regularly. New defense towers gleamed against the stars. The station had become a symbol of human-alien cooperation. Archive specialist Yuna sat in her now-busy office, updating the station's records. Her screen showed visitor numbers that were higher than ever before. "Another trade delegation arriving," she noted. "Third one this week." The door opened, and Lieutenant Kim walked in. The human officer had become a familiar sight on the station. "How's the history project going?" Lieutenant Kim asked. Yuna smiled. "Almost finished. The story of how Station Delta 17 became the first human-protected station in this sector. She gestured at her screen. Would you like to see? The display showed images from the past 3 months, the Thunderchild's arrival, the battle with the Raiders, the signing of the Alliance, but more importantly, it showed what came after. Look at these changes, Yuna said proudly. Human engineers helped us build new defense systems. Your doctors shared medical technologies. Your scientists started joint research projects with ours. Lieutenant Kim nodded. And your people taught us too. Your energy management systems gave us new ideas. Your cultural database helped us understand alien species better. In the station's busy corridors, humans and aliens walked together. No one flinched when they saw a human anymore. Instead, many aliens would stop to talk, eager to learn from Earth's representatives. Security Chief He Jun's voice came over the station's speakers. Attention all personnel. Training exercise beginning in Sector 4. Through the office window, Yuna and Lieutenant Kim watched as station security officers trained with human Marines. The aliens were learning human combat techniques, while the humans learned alien technology. Remember how scared everyone was when you first arrived? Yuna asked. Lieutenant Kim laughed. Hard to forget. Your commander Do-Won looked ready to evacuate the station. Now look at him. They watched as Do-Won walked past the office with Captain Park. The two commanders were discussing plans for expanding the station's facilities. 3 months of working together had turned them into close friends. The Galactic Council is changing too, Yuna said, pulling up new reports. 5 more stations have requested human protection. 2 alien species have signed defense treaties with Earth. Even the Raiders are staying away from human-protected areas. That's why we're here, Lieutenant Kim said. Humans are strong, yes, but we're better at building things than destroying them. Better at making friends than fighting enemies. Medical Officer Mireille entered the office, carrying new data tablets. Lieutenant, I wanted to show you our latest research. We combined human healing techniques with our regeneration technology. The results are amazing. More screens lit up, showing medical breakthroughs, technological advances, and cultural exchanges. Station Delta 17 had become more than just a protected outpost. It was a place where humans and aliens learned from each other, grew together, and built something new. Message from Earth Command, He Jun's voice announced. The new defense fleet will arrive next week. 4 human ships and 3 alien vessels, all working together. Yuna made more notes in her history record. You know what impresses me most about humans? She asked. What's that? Lieutenant Kim smiled. You could have conquered us easily. Instead, you chose to protect us, teach us, and learn from us. That's true strength. Outside, the Thunderchild still guarded the station, but now it was joined by other ships, human and alien vessels working together to keep the peace. Ambassador Kite's voice came over the speakers next. Attention all personnel. The Galactic Council has officially recognized Station Delta 17 as the first joint human-alien command center in this sector. Celebrations will begin at 1800 hours. Lieutenant Kim helped Yuna save her historical records, ready to celebrate. Almost. Yuna wrote one final note. When the human warship first appeared, we thought it meant the end of our peaceful life. Instead, it marked the beginning of something wonderful. We learned that the most powerful species in space came not to conquer, but to protect. Not to rule, but to help. The humans taught us that true strength lies not in the ability to destroy, but in the choice to defend. She looked up at her human friend. Now I'm ready. Together, they walked out to join the celebration. Station Delta 17 had changed forever, and the galaxy was changing with it. The day a human warship appeared had not been an ending. It had been a beginning.